Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In a great game five, we saw Denver again with a Jamal Murray buzzer beater with about 3 seconds to go on the clock. An absolutely great game. Lakers and Denver really played very exciting games across the board. We're going to discuss the concepts that the Lakers employed to keep it close, and then the concepts that Denver employed to finally win the game and how they stayed the same from the beginning to the end, and what ultimately ended up being the deciding factor. Let's go. The first thing from the Lakers' perspective, I think everything comes down to on offense how they played Rui Hachimura. He is such an integral part of Denver's defense because, as we see in this clip, they did not care about him shooting. And while he actually played pretty well, I think he went 2 for 5 from three. The fact that Denver chose to sag off provided so much assistance on defense. Even Rui going 2 for 5 does not matter if the Denver Nuggets on defense continually sag off him. It does not matter. Okay, we got Michael Porter Jr. over here. Okay, this is obviously crunch time. 9 minutes to go in the game. Every bucket here counts. Okay, let's go see what happens. We got this double ball screen. We talked about this in the last video. LeBron's coming downhill. The whole idea was to put stress on Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic coming downhill. Okay, as he's coming downhill, Rui does a good job cutting, and this is one way the Lakers actually use this to exploit what they've done in the past. Because Michael Porter Jr. is helping off, which is what they've done, they've sagged off. Rui was able to back cut, and this shows a much better understanding of how to use time and space for the Lakers. The issue is I don't believe this was the norm. Too often, the Nuggets were able to have Michael Porter Jr. essentially sit right here and prevent any drives that go to the rim and make it so much easier just guarding AD, guarding LeBron coming downhill. Give yourself better chances on offense. We see the same thing. Rui cuts again. This time, Michael Porter Jr. is wise to it. Rui goes to the outside. Where is Michael Porter Jr.? Doesn't go with him. Does not care. Stays in the paint. Makes it so much harder for AD, their best player, second best player maybe, to get easy looks. Michael Porter Jr. just camping in the paint right here makes it so much harder on Lakers offense because Rui's in the game. The pass goes out. Michael Porter Jr. does eventually close out. And you force Rui to make, look at that, a mid-range jumper by objectively their worst shooter on the floor. That is a massive win for Denver's defense. Then the second concept we talked about in the last video was this double ball screen. The one thing that's different is we saw LeBron James usually being the one that comes off the second ball screen because that puts Aaron Gordon, the defender, and Nikola Jokic in a difficult situation. But with D'Angelo Russell being the one that comes off it, and no hard screen being set by either of these players, it makes it much easier for Christian Braun to just get back in front of him. Like Dinwiddie barely touches them, AD leaves before he's there, and so there's no real pressure on Jokic because no one's coming downhill at him. Okay, so this was one concept that worked really well for the Lakers in Game 4 that did not work very well in Game 5. And we saw that same concept applied with the game on the line. We see the end of the game again, 6 minutes left. Okay, LeBron sets the first one. The issue with LeBron setting the first one is it's not as threat as if LeBron's the one coming downhill because Aaron Gordon can kind of cheat back. Okay, so Aaron Gordon cheats back, puts a ball on Anthony Davis, or puts a hand on Anthony Davis, and still the issue is this is a hard closeout. LeBron, I mean, he's a good shooter, but he's not a lights out shooter, and he misses that, frankly, pretty badly. And Denver's probably okay with this on defense, frankly. And then the exact same thing. I talked about how I liked it so much more if the ball's in LeBron's hands, so he's the one coming downhill and the one making passes. I like that a lot more. But with Austin Reaves coming downhill, KCP does a good job, or who's that, Reggie Jackson? Whoever this is does a good job of staying back in front. Aaron Gordon, it's a difficult closeout because LeBron has to go so far, and LeBron is able to get downhill. And that, like, he makes this, but this is a hard, very difficult shot. So shout out to LeBron for simply making it, but that's pretty good defense by Denver. So then we go to the two concepts that I believe Denver employed the most, and how LA essentially responded to it, or LA tried to limit Denver's offense. The first thing is how he guarded Aaron Gordon. LeBron James sagged off. We talked about that aggressively in the last video. LeBron James sagging off and playing safety provided so much help, made it much harder for Denver to get good looks at the rim as well. We see the kick out to Aaron Gordon. What does LeBron do? He literally just pivots. And look at this. This shows how much they cared about Aaron Gordon relative to KCP. Okay, so LeBron pivot says, oh, Aaron Gordon got the ball? No worries. Oh, he's going to pass to KCP? Yeah, I'll close out. Look at that. The disrespect to Aaron Gordon to try and prioritize KCP shows exactly what the Lakers' priorities are. And so the biggest area that I believe Denver ultimately went to, and I think this is so much more effective for their offense, is instead of having Aaron Gordon be on the perimeter, being a three-point shooter, have him be in the dunker spot where he represents a threat to an alley-oop to an easy dunk. So in this situation, LeBron could be helping over aggressively. Like if he's going to stop Jokic, he's got to help over now. Why does he stay glued? Because a simple lob from Jokic right here is going to be a dunk for Aaron Gordon, so he has to be worried of both of them. Rui Hachimura is nowhere near help position, probably where he should be. LeBron is too late on the rotation, and Jokic gets an easy bucket when 7 minutes to go, 8 minutes to go in the game. These are crucial. And then finally, the biggest criticism I had of Denver in Game 4 was they didn't post up Jokic. You got the MVP on your team. You might as well post him up almost every opportunity to get. They went to this much earlier and much more often in this game. And here's one example of it. When you see the double coming, Jokic just, like, he's so elite with getting value here. I love the cut from Aaron Gordon. I would ideally like for KCP and Michael Porter Jr. to be spaced. They get there eventually. A great pass from Jokic, and he finds KCP, and it puts pressure because you have Aaron Gordon cut and you had LeBron on the double. It means you have just Russell with two players, and it leads to Michael Porter Jr., who is deadly from outside, even though he misses that shot. Absolutely deadly. And then late in the game, these are the ones. This is it. 4 minutes to go. Hey, we are watching how they go to the post up right here. How are they going to do it? We know the double is coming from Hachimura. That's how it's coming every single time is the nearby defender. Let's see when Hachimura comes. Boom, dribble, move. Nikola Jokic is already ready. Okay, what happens? Reeves rotates here. What is Russell doing? He's pointing to the middle. I don't know why he's pointing there, but he's pointing to the middle. He says, somebody get him. Newsflash, it's your rotation, D'Angelo Russell. Jamal Murray cuts right to the middle, and it leads to a ferocious dunk. And that's the kind of momentum thing that, like, you feel so good if you're Denver. You're energized. You see Jamal Murray throw one down on LeBron. That is a great play from Jokic and Murray. And then same thing, we see 2 minutes to go. You want to get the exact best possession you can. What does Jokic do? Immediately starts to post up. Okay? How's defense going to handle it? Who's the one that's trapping? Should be Russell, theoretically. Okay, Russell doesn't really come. He is too late. There is no rotation, and you essentially let Jokic play one-on-one. Is there anyone that's beaten Jokic one-on-one? Maybe Rudy Gobert. Maybe. I don't know. Essentially nobody. That is a great look for Nikola Jokic with 3 minutes to go in the game. And then finally, we get to the last possession of the game. And truly, I don't want this to be like harping on Rui Hachimura, but I think Rui Hachimura was literally the difference in this series. Essentially, Denver's being able to sag off him, even though he shot well, Denver still sagged off of him, made it harder for LeBron and AD. And the fact that Rui didn't give that much more on offense, like he can't guard Jokic one-on-one. I'm sure he can guard Aaron Gordon, but Aaron Gordon's not, like, the pivotal part of their offense is Jokic. So if you're not guarding Jokic, like if you still need AD and LeBron, then it's hard. And right here, okay, we got Jokic coming downhill. The goal is to put tremendous amount of strain on AD. Why can't LeBron help over? We talked about it. Aaron Gordon right here. Okay, and the dunker spot is a threat for an alley-oop. Who should be the one stepping up here? Rui Hachimura. He's got to be right here. Okay? He's got to be cheating over, give them help. Let Taurean Prince split between these two, semi-guard both of them, and Hachimura provides no help. Jamal Murray gets a clean look. It is off balance, don't get me wrong, but he's hit these before. You get him inside the free throw line. It's probably not a shot that you want him to be shooting. No help from Hachimura, and he buries the three. We can see immediately Taurean Prince was unhappy with him, and you see him push him right there. He wanted Hachimura to go there, and Hachimura kind of went up, didn't even go in towards the ball. And ultimately, Denver does make it. It's a difficult shot, but Jamal Murray's made those routinely. And the Lakers don't get a great look here at the end. And ultimately, Denver advances to the second round. I am going to create a video on what to expect for Denver versus the Timberwolves, which I think should be a super exciting matchup. I'm going to release that on Saturday before the game. Their first game is also on Saturday. So if you'd like to follow or like to subscribe and see that, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like. But most importantly, have a blessed rest of your day.